Hi students, welcome to my first video of the school year. Yay! Welcome. I hope that this video is helpful for you. I will be teaching you how to use two important elements of my class today, which is ItsLearning and Google Drive, okay? So we'll start with ItsLearning and then we'll go to Google Drive. And just so you know, this video, I'm going to post it on ItsLearning. So if you ever need to go back and see it, or if you forgot something, it's there for you to watch if you ever need to go back over this again, okay? So let's get started. Stop wasting time. The first site we're going to go to is ItsLearning. So to get there, the easiest way is to just type into your browser ahcs.itslearning.com. Okay, AHCS stands for American Heritage Charter Schools, okay? So it's way easier than typing in like itslearning.com and trying to find it that way. Go to ahcs.itslearning.com. A lot of times your laptops will already have it like prompted up there, but that's the best way to get there. Okay, next you need to log in. So if this is your first time logging in, your login is going to be your first name and then your last name. Don't write my first name and last name because it's not going to work. And then if it's your first time logging in, and I believe all former HGA students, I believe your passwords are reset as well. But your temporary password, I'm going to write it up here in this little bar just so you can see it, but you obviously write your password down here, is going to be capital T Tigers *1. Okay, so again, make sure you put that down in this other little box, not up here. I just wanted to show you so you could read it. So I'm logging into like a sample student one because I want to show you the student view versus what my view of ItsLearning looks like. So once you do that, go ahead and click sign in. Again, if it's your first time logging in, it'll probably prompt you to change your password. So make sure that you change it right now. And then I would highly suggest that you write it down, maybe write it in your planner or somewhere else that's safe that you're not going to lose it. Even if you think you're like super smart and you're going to remember your password, it always happens like after Christmas break and everyone's like, oh yeah, what's my password that I haven't used for the past 2 weeks? So just think about that it's smart to have it written down somewhere. So then if you forget over break, you will remember. So this is your first screen you see when you log in. I know it's not updated. I don't have control over this. I don't have the authority on my account to change any of these things. I know it still has like old events, everything on here. So just be patient. Those should be updated soon. But there are some important links you could still use on here. And the main thing you want to do is click to your courses up in the top left. And you probably only see 2 courses, probably just history and science. So go ahead and click into history. And you're going to notice former HGA students that looks different than before, quite different actually, but that's okay. Everything that you used before is still on here, it's just in a different format, so I'll show you. ItsLearning is pretty easy to figure out. I don't use like a lot of detailed things on here, so most of it is that you want to access and pay attention to is the planner. So luckily the planner is the first thing you see when you log in. Notice there's a bunch of tabs up here, and we're on the overview tab, and that's the one that's going to show up as soon as you click into history. That's the first thing that shows up. Okay, so we got the planner here. I'll go over that in a second. Over on the right, you've got tasks. This would normally show like any assignments you might have started but not completed on ItsLearning. And then you have events. I don't know if your other teachers will utilize this, but I added some events in here of things that are coming up. For example, your signed copy of the syllabus is due on Friday. I have to put a time, so obviously it's not all due at 8 a.m. for you. That's just the time that automatically shows up. And then I also put another event that's quite a bit away. Is September 28th is your first unit exam. So I just went ahead and put that in there since I already know the date. Other things you'll see on this main screen are bulletins. This is where I'll just post any updates that I might want to tell you, and usually I'll remind you in class as well to check the bulletins, like if I put something important up. But really it's the planner that's the most important. And then you're going to see any latest changes, like things I've added on here. But again, the most important thing on here is the planner. So here's the planner. It looks a little bit similar to before, but there's a couple of things that are different. So what you're going to see are basically any assignments that are happening within the next week that are upcoming are going to show up here. So for example, it shows August 14th, and it gives a little description of what's happening, that you're going to get to know each other, and then there's 2 assignments attached on here that you can click. So for example, if I click US History Syllabus, it will take us to the US History Syllabus after it loads. We'll give it a second. For a minute. So there you go. There's your copy of the syllabus. So just so you know, I put things on ItsLearning. Everything we do, I usually put on ItsLearning unless there's some reason I don't want you to have access to it. But typically I put everything on here, which is really important because remember on your syllabus it says if you're absent, the first thing you should do is not come up to me and be like, I was absent. Did we do anything? And I'm going to be like, no, we didn't. We did absolutely nothing while you were gone. We were just sad that you were gone. No, you need to check ItsLearning. That's the reason I have it and have it updated. So check on here, see what you missed. Then if you have questions, then you could come ask me. Or if you need a paper copy of something, then come and ask me. But I have a lot of students, so it really helps if you guys take initiative and are responsible for your work and check the planner when you're absent instead of relying on me for that element, okay? So another feature is you can go ahead and click show more and it'll show you more things from the planner, like this is what we're doing on Tuesday, here's what we did on Wednesday and Thursday, so notice the date went for 2 days. And again, I always attach the assignments on here, or sometimes I'll attach nothing. There will be something here later, I just haven't made it active to show it to you yet. But everything's on here. Now something that's different is this like start button. So all it does is if you click start, it gives you a description of that event, like of that what we did that day. So here's the description. It's the same thing that was on the planner on the previous page. And then if you click the next button, it just takes you through all the attachments that were attached on that element of the planner. So it brings us back to the syllabus again. And if we click next again, it takes us to the next item, which was advice from former students. And it's a little document that has advice from former students. So they're just loading really slow. Wow. It takes you to both of them. So just know that that is how you use the planner, and a little different than last year, but still has everything you need. If you're looking for a way to find things more manually, this would be under the Resources tab. This looks similar to my former students, HGA students, of what you had before. You can click either here or here and click into Unit 1 folder, and it brings up all those items that we did, and then you can click on them and it takes you to that assignment. So the downfall of this is it doesn't tell you like what day we did anything, but if you want to quickly go back and find something, then Resources is helpful. The next tab is the plans, and this is just a bigger view of the planner. What's helpful about the plans is if you were absent and you need to go back and see like, oh, what did we do last week or the last 2 weeks? You can click that and it'll take you to those plans here, okay? So that's what's helpful here. You can also adjust how you see this up here if you want to click table or list, and it just changes the way that you see the planner. But again, this is just a more detailed version of the overview. That's why this one's called overview. It makes sense, right? It's an overview of basically everything else on here. It just gives you like the smaller, easier version to see it. Okay, so overview is your main thing. These things are just on here to help. Follow-up and reports. You will likely not use this for my class at all. There is a grade book, but I don't even grade, right? Some of your assignments are paper assignments, so I don't put those grades in ItsLearning. All of the grades I put into your student portal where you have your grades. So that's where you should always check them. Don't check on here. Check on student portal. And then properties is where you can just adjust some settings, okay? So that's it for really ItsLearning. You'll just get used to it as we use it more, and you'll get used to practicing on it more, and as we do more assignments, it'll make more sense and you'll get the hang of it, okay? So I just want to give you a brief overview though of how you use ItsLearning. Okay, and then make sure whenever you leave that you always sign out because you don't want someone else logging in and messing around on your account. So make sure you click sign out when you leave. The next thing I want to show you is how to use Google Drive, specifically how to set up your folder for my class, because that's how we're going to have our digital notebooks. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your email, log into your student email. You all should have done this by now. If you haven't, then pause this and get some help. Raise your hand and ask for help. I'm not going to click into my email because I don't want you to see my emails. But once you're in your email, you can click this little button over up at the top and you can click Google Drive and it'll take you to your Google Drive. Okay, my drive probably looks different than yours because I have a lot of stuff in it, a lot of folders. That's because I do a lot. I like keep most of my assignments and everything on here, so it's just easier for me to manage them. And I can access them anywhere. That's what's awesome about Google Drive, right? Is you can work on it at school and then it saves, and you can work on it at home and it saves. Everything just saves. It's the best. So what we're going to do is set up your history notebook. Okay, so first what you want to do is either click new and then folder up here, or you can right click your mouse and then click new folder. Either way, they both work. You're going to title your folder your last name, comma, first name. Don't write my last name and first name because that will be confusing. And then a space, and then a little dash, and then a space, and then put history. Okay, so again, put your last name. Make sure you write that one first because it helps me keep order of everything. I'll show you in a minute of why it's important. Okay, last name, comma, your first name, dash history, or you could just do a couple spaces in history. Whatever you'd like to do, you could do an underscore if you know what that is, and then click create, and then your folder will show up. Now, here's the important thing. You need to share this folder with me, and I will show you how to do that because I need to access it. I don't have access to your Google Drive. I don't have access to your email. I could probably get it if I needed to, but I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't want to do that to you. So I need to be able to see the things you put in your history folder because I need to grade those items, okay? Like your history notebook, all the items in it, I need to be able to grade it. So I need access to your folder. So what you want to do, you can either click the little, you want to click on the folder, you can either click the little man with the plus sign, which says share, or you can right click on the folder with your mouse and click share. Either way works. And they're going to enter my email, so not your email this time, my email, which is kcollins@echs.org. Yes, my name is spelled incorrectly there. I can't change it. I don't have control over it. It's frustrating. And then you want to leave it set at what it is automatically set at. I need to be able to edit things because I need to edit. I'm going to put a grade sheet in there and grade your notebook. I need to be able to edit that. So please keep it that way. Don't change it to view only. And then you can add a little note if you would like. You don't have to. Be like, hi, Miss Collins. You are the best. Yay. Okay, and then when you click send, it might have another message pop up that says like, are you sure you want to send this? And click yes. And so then I will get an email, see right up there, I'll get an email saying that your folder has been shared with me. So now anything you put in this folder, anything you put in there, I have access to, which is really important because if you leave anything out of your folder, I don't have access to it. Let's say you work on an assignment in class and you forget to put it in your history folder. That's not good. You need to put it in there because when your notebook is due, I need to be able to see it and grade it, okay? I always remind you, and I also give you like a grade sheet before your notebook is due, like a week before, so then you can go through and make sure you have everything for your notebook. So don't worry, like when the first notebook is due, you'll have plenty of time to make sure everything's in there. Just make sure you actually double check that. Okay, so now your history folder is made. So like I said, anything you put in there is shared with me. So let's go ahead and make our first unit folder. And our first unit, again, you can right click and click new folder, or you can click new and then folder, and then you're going to title it Unit 1, Colonies to Revolution. Okay. Oh, I didn't put a 1. See? Unit 1, Colonies to Revolution. That is the name of the unit. Colonies to Revolution. And then click Create. Okay, so again, I already have access to this because it's in your history folder, so you do not have to share that with me. I already have access to it. So anything we do in Unit 1 in Google Drive, you'll now drag and put it in this folder. It just keeps everything organized. Eventually you'll create more folders. It just keeps all of your stuff nice and organized in a digital notebook or a digital folder, whatever you want to call it. We'll only do 3 units for the first semester, and then after Christmas we will do another 3 units. So only 6 total this year, just doing less units. So why you're doing all this is it helps me for when I go to grade your notebooks. I'll show you an example from last year. So how I have it set up is in my little 8th grade folder where I have all my 8th grade stuff. I have picture of George Washington, but I also have a folder called 8th grade notebooks, and so if I click in there, I divide you guys up by your class periods. These are from last year, and then I would go ahead and click into one, and then it'll give me a list of all of your names. So now see, when it's on here, they're all out of order, but if I click onto the side folder over here, it alphabetizes them for me. So then I can just find which one I need. Oh, I need to grade this person's folder. I click it, and then all of their folders show up, and I can go ahead and click inside one of their folders. And this is kind of what yours will look like. It'll have all these different items in it, like notes that we did, digital worksheets we did, your study guide, and then the grade sheet that I use to grade your notebook, and all of these things that will be things I put on ItsLearning that you'll copy into your notebook. Don't worry about that now. That stuff we'll get to later. I just want to show you kind of like what your digital notebook will look like as it goes on. And again, you'll have all these different units with different things in each of your units. Sometimes it varies by like how much we do each unit, but this is what in general your unit notebook, your digital notebook for history will look like. So hopefully that was helpful to you. If you have more questions, please ask me. I'm happy to help you. And don't worry, this will all get easier as it goes on, as the school year goes on and we practice more. You'll get the hang of it. And the first unit, don't worry, I'm going to help you a lot. But again, you'll get the hang of it. Things will start to make sense to you. And I'll always show you how to do everything and make sure like, oh, you know where to put it. But hopefully this tutorial helped you figure out ItsLearning and Google Drive. And again, this video will be posted on ItsLearning, so if you ever need to go back and watch it, it's there for you to review. So that's it. I'm really looking forward to this school year. I can't wait. I have so many fun ideas for this year, so many lessons, and we're just going to have so much fun together. So that's it.